Welcome back to Water Park Rangers Let's Play Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door. In the last episode, we boarded the Poshly Express and started solving the many mysteries aboard this vessel. If that's a word you can use to describe a train as well as a boat, but I might as well since I already did. Anyway, this dude is obviously the culprit because who else would steal food but the chubby guy, as he puts it so kindly. Anyway, what you do have to do is inspect those tracks, because if you don't, you're actually not able to catch the culprit. So, inspect the tracks first, then come to this cabin. And after you talk to him, examine his little cupboard back here, and it's pretty easy to see, you know, he's got the picture of the chef, and, of course, the incriminating evidence of the galley pot. It's really nothing. It's actually kind of funny how easy this is, especially because, as I'm recording this, I'm also playing the first Phoenix Wright game on DS. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's DS. I forget what it's called, though. I think just Ace Attorney. Yeah, I think I'm playing Ace Attorney. I did only, like, the first 2 chapters. It was kind of surprising, like, the start it gets off to. Pretty fun game. Or, you know, as fun as a game about, you know, justice and the law can be. Considering justice is one of the most vague terms I think that's ever been invented. One of the most malleable, that's for sure. Anyway, we're getting some real credentials here from, Pennington, my favorite character in Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door. A little trivia fact there. I might have mentioned it before. My favorite characters in this game are Pennington, and I'm pretty sure Dupless is second. I love so many of the other random NPCs, but those two are my favorite. I almost wish Dupless was, like, a playable character. Yeah, I think he'd probably work like Pooh in Earthbound did. And in case you don't know, because I'm assuming that not everyone knows about Earthbound despite how awesome it is, Pooh was this character in the game who had, like, the standard, like, physical attacks and then magic-esque attacks. They're psychic, but whatever, same difference. But his real special ability was that any enemy you found, he had the ability to turn into and use their moves against them. And just imagine how much fun that would be if you could have a character like that in this game, Dupless, and just have him turn into any enemy you're facing, and just be able to use its attacks. That could be so useful. But whatever. Gotta focus on what's in this game. I do have to make a confession, and this is the first episode of the Let's Play that I've recorded in what has to be probably a month or more. Like, just due to college and all the shenanigans involving it, I've had less and less time to work on this, as has been made clear before. But I'm also working on other side projects, if you can believe it or not, besides immediate college work. What they are, I might mention at some point in the future. And who knows, they may even pop up on my YouTube channel, because, you know, I said it was for Let's Plays, but it's not just for Let's Plays. I've done some other things on it from time to time, as rare as they may be. Like some few sped-up music things, nothing that took, like, more than a minute to work on. But in the future, I'm planning to do more and more with it. Like, I'm going to be more active on YouTube, but I don't know how many Let's Plays I'll be doing. Like, I've definitely got some more planned out. Like, there's at least a few more games that I definitely want to LP. After this one. And I'm not saying when we're going to be done with this one, because I can't even tell for sure. Like, because it's just been crawling at such a slow pace. Way more slow than I ever would have anticipated. Like, this is definitely going to be, like, the longest one yet in terms of how long it took to finish it. Despite that Wind Waker is actually longer, I just didn't have as much going on when I was working on Wind Waker. So, I can't promise when this is going to be finished. I can promise you this. We're definitely more than halfway there. But I'm not quite so sure whether we're 75% of the way there or not. So, just gonna have to bear with me, and you know, we're gonna get it done. All in good time. Anyway, one of the neat things about this chapter is, as you solve each mystery, you get these little, kind of like day changes. Like, this is the first day of the voyage, and now as you can see, the sun is setting in the background as you look through the window. And the train actually gets slightly different music, which is a really nice touch. And, oh yeah, you might have seen earlier when we were talking to Chef Shimi and returning the galley pot. What we did there was totally optional. Like, we didn't have to return that pot. But it's just kind of a reminder that for every mission that you're solving on this train, and you must solve the missions, the little objects that you find, do think about returning them to the people that were missing them. Because even if that's optional, it's good to do, because it's just gonna get you more stuff. Like, a star piece isn't gonna rock your world. But who knows, get enough of them and you might be able to get some kind of really valuable badge. So that's the general idea. Anyway, you gotta just talk to the right people in each quest, and then listen to their hints closely, and you'll generally be able to figure them out pretty quickly. So we gotta find something that starts with an A. And to do this, we're going to take off to the other side of the train. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Alright, now that we're over here, what he's talking about is an autograph. That's what he wants. What starts with an A is an autograph. And I don't know... Oh, yes, there is a star piece under there. We've just got to land and knock it out. Sweet. I also like that little machine back there. Like, I wonder if that's a real trainy thing to have. I know absolutely nothing about trains. Anyway, this train guy looks really cool, and his outfit looks a little bit like, the subway conductors from Pokemon Black and White, or Black and White 2. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I bought, Pokemon White 2 kind of on a whim, because I loved Pokemon White. Believe it or not, like, that was the first Pokemon game I played all the way through, was Pokemon White version. And it's so good. And it's probably pretty cheap these days, too. That being said, it's also way better than its sequel, Black and White 2. I'm just saying this to warn you, because I only beat Black and White 2 recently, and I can just tell you, just straight up, the first was better in just about every way. So what we did was we went to Zip Toad for the obvious autograph suggestion, and he's spelling it out for us now. And we went to Zip Toad, but that didn't help. Now, if you talk to him again, and talk to this guy back here, he's going to tell you the hint you need, which is that he wants to be a train engineer one day. And so, yeah, we gotta go find that train engineer who was at the front of the train. Yeah, pretty obvious. Whatever he wants, we gotta find his seltzer. Boom! Yummy and sticky! Awesome. So it's pretty clear what you gotta do. And I knew what I was supposed to do from the start. As you saw, I went in here, and I kind of thought I could skip ahead, but nope, you gotta find everything out in a way that makes sense. That's the way these mysteries work. Just like with the fat guy in the stew, you gotta find the tracks before you can apprehend him, and you gotta know the kid likes trains before you can ask for an autograph from the train conductor, or the engineer, or whatever this guy is. That felt fantastic, giving an autograph. Yeah, it's nice to exercise your pride once in a while. Actually, on the topic of pride, there was this game recently that was released called Company of Sin, where you're able to play as the 7 Deadly Sins, and I found it because I was looking at Full Metal Alchemist stuff, and like the villains in Full Metal Alchemist are based off the 7 Deadly Sins, and so I was kind of interested in this game initially. Then I watched the trailer, and wow, it's probably only as bad as it seems to me because Full Metal Alchemist portrays the sins so well, but all of them are so stupid. Like, all of them are done so well in Full Metal, and then in this game, Company of Sin, there's no other way to describe them but, like, completely bootleg. Anyway, we got a new mystery here with Pennington, and I haven't quite figured out a voice for Pennington. I'm imagining he would sound like Sherlock Holmes, but I totally forget what Sherlock Holmes sounds like. Would have been good to do that, but anyway, I'll probably look up a good Sherlock Holmes voice for the next time we talk to Pennington. I'm glad you spoke to me. I just remembered something suspicious. I found myself one blanket short when I was handing them out to passengers. I gave the last passenger my own blanket to make up for it, but it's vexing. I have exact blanket counts. It means someone came on board without a ticket. That stowaway just might be your suspect, Mr. Mario. Not only that, but if I don't get my blanket back, I'll be too chilly to sleep tonight. If you could look for the unticketed passenger and get that blanket, I'd thank you. Call me Blanket Pickle Inspector. Honestly? Great, thanks. Well, I have to keep watch here, but I'll be waiting for the good news. I'm just assuming PI stood for Pickle Inspector there because of Problem Sleuth. No clue what I actually stand for. Problem Investigator? Something legit? But no, Pickle Inspector is a much better thing to call a kind of person who solves mysteries with initials PI. Anyway, this hint is much less obvious, but the room you want to go for is the one with no one evidently in it, number 4. What you gotta do is take out Vivian and hide in the shadows for a while until, BAM! This ghost appears. Talk to him. So you found me. Well, as you see, I'm a ghost. I'm cursed to haunt this place. A blanket? Well, yes, the conductor did leave one here. He didn't realize that I'm a ghost. A yummy, sticky thread? No, I left no such thing. I can't even hold physical objects like pen and paper. What? You just want the blanket, then? Well, I'll tell you where it is if you do something for me. What do you say? Fine. All I need is your life! No, just kidding. Actually, I passed away in this cabin many years ago, but I think my luggage is still in the baggage car here. Inside my bag is a diary I kept since my earliest childhood days, and my fear that someone would find and read it has kept me tied to this world.
I can't leave this room, so can you please find it and bring it here? If you do that, I'll show you where the blanket is. And don't you even dare read my diary, because if you do, a horrible fate awaits you.
Man, I think that's classified as too spooky. Anyway, when he said your life, it's pretty clear that in the original Japanese version, he probably had to say your soul. Nintendo's always really touchy when they put it into the English translators. They tend to not want to make references to religion or concepts like that, you know, like a soul. Because, you know, people would get all upset and say, oh man, there's a belief that I might not necessarily believe in. It's trying to brainwash my kids. Boop, 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 boop. But anyway, you just talk to that guy after you talk to the ghost, and you're able to get through into the back room. And in here, you gotta find that diary, and it's pretty clear that you just go through here. And I only recently realized when my roommate was playing through this game that all these boxes have foods on them. Just written foods. I never even noticed that before. I'm serious, and I've played the game through twice before this Let's Play. I think twice. I actually don't remember. Maybe this was the second playthrough? I don't really know. I just know I've seen him play through, so I've seen definitely 3 playthroughs of this game, so I know it pretty darn well. Which is funny considering that it was a game that I initially didn't care about at all. Anyway, we're gonna bring it back to door number 4, right here. Door number 4, door number 4! Here we are.
Did you find my diary? Yes, this is my diary. Very well, your blanket is right here.
There we go, the blanket.
You're very wise not to read my diary, friend. If you had read it, you might be a spirit like me right now. But now I can go peacefully on from this world. Thank you so much. You will probably never meet me again in this world. Fare thee well.
Nope.
Well, actually, maybe not. I've been here for so long, I've gotten kind of used to it. The wallpaper's so great. Maybe I'll stay here for just a little while longer. I can leave whenever, so that's all there is to it.
So the deal with that diary is, if you do choose to read it, and you can, you will... well, you'll get an instant game over. Like, you'll start reading it, and then what's just gonna happen is the ghost is gonna appear and say, "You looked!" And then you're damned, and you die instantly. And so if you hadn't saved, you're just gonna lose all your progress. So seriously, don't do it. I know there's a lot of Let's Players that like to at least show it, and I guess I could've, but you can easily look it up on YouTube to see what happens if you read the diary. Even though I just spoiled it for you right there. Whoops. Trollololol. Your fault for not playing this game already. Like, if you aren't playing it by now, I don't know what's wrong with you, or you're not convinced that it's worth your time. Well, if that's the case, then just watch the rest of the Let's Play, and as soon as it's finished, you'll be convinced it's definitely worth your time. Well, sounds like we should get some rest and let the conductor watch over things. I'm with you, Vivian. We'll catch up with everyone in the next episode. See you guys then.